All right, for those of you following along with my Canadian Football League 2025 projection season, I have completed that today. The video, I just put up the video completing weeks 20 and 21. I have submitted my standings and my records to John so he can make a custom set of Drive Time Football CFL cards for the playoffs and the 112th Grey Cup. I'll play out the remainder of this project with DTF. I started this project creating custom teams for DTF, and as I moved through the first 5 or 6 weeks and I was checking my results compared to the real CFL, I then realized I was going to have to modify if I wanted to be close. So I then rated the teams for my game, Big Country Football Time. And then when I got to about week 10, I had enough data that I went ahead and used my fictional franchise football game and rated the teams for that and finished the last 11 weeks using that. So the reason I'm putting up this video is for those of you who want that data. I have put it up for free. Obviously, it's just my records. CFL 25 projection PDF right here. You can grab it and download it. This was how my projection season finished. Saskatchewan dominated, having only lost to Calgary during the regular season. So that's going to make for an interesting playoff here with these teams. Saskatchewan scored 512, gave up 350. Calgary finished 12-6. Fantastic season for them. Winnipeg started with a strong defense, but their defense fell apart in the last 10, 11 weeks. So the irony is, had I continued with the DTF set, Winnipeg probably would have been dominant up here at the rate they were going. But they finished 9-9 once I calculated all their data. They still a respectable defense. Matter of fact, a very good defense. BC Lions, they were 4-5 at one point, and then as we made the transition to the new engine, BC absolutely collapsed based on what they were doing in real life. And Edmonton, of course, based on what they were doing in real life, you can see how they fared. Hamilton, fantastic all year, 12-6. And Toronto finished 10-8. They started with the best offense in football. Then they stumbled up and down, and then they had like a 2-game losing streak, but they finished the final 3 weeks winners, bang, 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 and they are going to be obviously in the playoffs. Montreal is going to get into the playoffs at 7-11. So Saskatchewan, Calgary, and Winnipeg will be in the playoffs. Hamilton, Toronto, and Montreal will be in the playoffs. Montreal, of course, struggling mightily. And Ottawa ended up, after starting the worst team in the league, then they caught fire, won like 3 out of 4 games, and then they've collapsed in the stretch. They end up the worst team in the league after all. So you can see my original projection set, I went with what they did last year and what I saw in preseason. I created custom sets for Drive Time Football. I played 6 weeks of those teams. Then I moved them to my game, rated them for my game, played 4 weeks that way. And the last 11 weeks I used the FFF game engine, which I believe obviously the most accurate possible way to do this. But I needed data to make that accuracy, remotely good, right? Because I was guessing really as to how good the teams were going to be when I started the season. Anyway, the playoffs and the Grey Cup will be played with the custom-rated DTF teams based on these above results. So John's going to make these teams for me in a custom Drive Time Football set, and I will play out the playoffs and that with it. So that's going to be an unbelievable experience. This has been, this year, the best tabletop game experience I've had playing the Canadian Football League. I don't care what game engine I used. I'm just having an absolute blast playing this along with the real league. I'm going to have it done, obviously, a month before the real league ends and the playoffs end. But, again, that's the luxury of pre-rating teams and knocking out weeks as I go. But this project, folks, is almost complete. Quite a few games done. I have left the playoffs and the Grey Cup, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this little project on the channel as much as I have. Stay tuned for more. I will put a link to grab this document for those who would like to just have what my projection results look like. It'll be available. All right, bye-bye.